everybody, welcome to today's Daily Dose. This week, we are connecting to our worship series, which is called Picture Perfect Family. We all know there's no such thing as a perfect family, but we also know that perfect is often what we think we should have. I mean, really, it starts at the Target aisle when someone says to you, "How are you?" And even if I've just gotten off the phone with a family member in the parking lot who is sick, I'm still trying to process the nasty email I got from work, and I just left my kids who were arguing in the living room. 9 times out of 10, I will still answer that question, "I'm great. How are you?" It's hard to even know how to let someone into those imperfections that all of us experience. Well, this week on the Daily Dose, we want to remind you that even in the Bible, this word of God that we see as foundational to our Christian faith, even in there, we find stories of imperfect people. So today, I'd like to read you this short story from the book of Luke, chapter 10. Now, as they went on their way, Jesus entered a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. She had a sister named Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to what he was saying. But Martha was distracted by her many tasks. So she came to him and asked, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself? Tell her then to help me." But the Lord answered her, "Martha, Martha, you are worried and distracted by many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better, which will not be taken away from her." Now, when we talk about this story, we're quick to put ourselves into the role of referee. Jesus says at the end of the story that Mary has chosen the better part. So naturally, we look back at what Mary did, sit at the feet of Jesus, and assume that she somehow won. And Martha, who cared about the tasks to welcome Jesus, that she somehow lost. And I'll be the first to admit that I don't like this win-loss scenario one bit. See, part of my role here at Calvary as Director of Engagement is thinking about hospitality here at Calvary. So when I recruit greeters and ushers or think about ways that we can be welcoming new guests to the church, I think about the many, many tasks that we want to undertake as a way to make ourselves as welcoming as possible as a church. We are really intentional about where people station themselves to greet people before or after worship. We talk with our welcome desk volunteers about the types of questions they might get asked so they can be prepared to answer them or find someone who can. We talk with our volunteers about the fact that every Sunday is someone's first Sunday. And if you're volunteering here, that means you were a first-time attender at one point. So how can all of us demonstrate radical hospitality, something the church isn't always known for, that makes people want to come back? So, as you could probably imagine, hospitality is important to me. I might be inclined to say to Mary, "Yeah, I know, listening to Jesus is great, but what about all the things we need to do to welcome him properly? Get me a t-shirt that says Team Martha." Well, in these short 5 verses in the Bible, there are a couple of things that I want to tell you about today, remind myself for that matter. First, hospitality really was important in ancient times. So it was natural that Martha would be welcoming Jesus and demonstrating hospitality by cleaning and preparing food and beverages. And that was a totally normal thing to do. So the problem was not that Martha was doing these things. It's what Jesus says to her after her sister calls her out. It says to her, "Martha, Martha," he says her name twice, "you are worried and distracted by many things." As one author, Elizabeth Johnson, writes, "Martha's distraction and worry leave no room for the most important aspect of hospitality, gracious attention to the guest." See, we never do find out how this story ends in the Bible. Do the sisters find reconciliation over their meetup with Jesus? The Bible doesn't tell us. It doesn't have a nice, neat way of packaging up this story. So there's a reason that the author doesn't have a picture-perfect scene for us to read. And maybe it's the reminder that worry and distraction are never a healthy thing. Are you feeling worried about how you're going to welcome people for Thanksgiving dinner? Are you feeling anxious about what everybody will or won't eat? Distracted by wondering how gravy could even be gluten-free or pie fat-free? At the holidays in particular, we tend to throw all of our energy into worry and distraction. And a story like this between two sisters, remember. It doesn't mean that our sense of hospitality needs to take second fiddle. Hospitality does matter. The way we welcome people to church, setting aside our judgments or notions of what a church person should look like, it matters. Welcoming our sibling's partner to Thanksgiving dinner, even if he or she doesn't look like someone who typically comes to our Thanksgiving table, it matters. And we won't be picture perfect in how we do these things. There is no script to follow. But this story of siblings in the Bible can remind us, Jesus can remind us, that gracious attention to someone's story, it is important. It matters. Thanks so much for watching The Daily Dose. We would love for you to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're interested in our Picture Perfect story series that we're doing in worship, check that out on YouTube as well. And be sure to invite someone to watch along with you on Facebook or Cable 181. Thanks so much.